associate, and then I'll explore certain ideas you express based on what you say. Okay? Okay, I think we're plugged in. Okay. So, when I say spirituality, what comes to mind?
Belief.
Okay, and when I say religion?
Rules.
God?
Dependency.
Do you follow religion? You don't have to express which one if you don't want to, but if you in fact do or don't, can you elaborate on that?
I was raised Roman Catholic, and the beliefs of Catholicism have had a huge influence on me, for sure. But we were actually just having this conversation on the way over here a moment ago. I find that religion, our existence here, we determine our existence here and our interrelationships with each other. I think that's what's more important. I think if you use religion as a guidance for morality and for the things that you do on a day-to-day basis, I think that's a good idea. But you also have to come back to the single rule about treating people the way you want to be treated. And I think we lose sight of that sometimes, and with religion as a blind guide. So I find that I try and integrate what I've learned through religion and what I've been exposed to, I should say, through religion, to what intuitively we should know about how we want to make each other feel.
Okay, thank you. And when I say the word priest or religious guide.
Yeah, that was the word I was going to use, was guide. I was going to say guide. When you said priest, I'd say guide. I hope. And I would hope that I can use the word guide. I think sometimes a priest can also be maybe, hopefully they do not, but if they push the ideas of religion blindly, like I said before, then that could be a problem. But I think that they generally don't. I've met a lot of priests as fortunately good priests, and they've all been good guides, I think, challenging us to think about how religion can play a role in our lives and think about it properly. So I think guide is a good word for a priest.
And when I say the word happiness, relative to everything we're talking about, what comes to mind?
Decision, your own ability to decide. You make your own happiness, and finding that is what really matters in this life, I think.
And what about sadness?
Yeah. I mean, I think sometimes sadness comes from not being in touch with what makes you happy. I know that sounds silly to use those kinds of words, but if you strive reach for things that are outside your immediate reach, if you try and surround yourself with too many material possessions, if you try and surround yourself with things that really aren't what, if you were to look inside, make you happy, I think you're going to find yourself sad. Of course, if you lose someone who you love, if something terrible befalls you, that's sadness too. I mean, that's forced on you from the outside. But I think a lot of people are sad because they're misguided for themselves. And so sadness makes me think about someone who just really hasn't found what it is that makes them happy. And that kind of sounds like a bow out for that one, but I think that's what I would go for.
No, actually, relative to where I'm headed and what I'm thinking, if you could find insight or gain insight into understanding a lot of what we're talking about, is it something that you would access? And when I say that specifically, let's say a website where all the different religions of the world, all the different philosophies, given any subject that you're either concerned about or pursuing or that's affected you, whether it's a death in the family or a birth or a breakup or just love in general, whatever it is it something that it's a source that you would be interested in accessing?
Personally, yes. I think that a lot of people would find that information useful. I wonder why it is that people don't seek it out, though. And I question as to how much people would. But for me personally, I find that kind of conversation stimulating. I think that it's great for us to be able to share our point of view with each other, for being able to process the things that happen to us in life. And I think a site like that would give a very broad palette to be able to choose how you view some of the things that happen to you, because there's been a lot of people living on this planet for a lot of years, and they've developed a lot of philosophies and a lot of ideas on life. And I think if you start to see those things and put them together, you start to really begin to identify yourself, and I think that would be a very useful way to be able to do that.
Okay, well, thank you very much. You've been great.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Have a great day.